Hey everyone, and welcome back to One Up. It's Uttapan Dragon, and in this series I provide you guys with some gameplay and my honest thoughts and opinions on games that I've played. And today we're going to be taking a look at Doom Eternal. Now, as you can see, your boy is on fire. I've really been cooking and trying my best to get out as much quality content as I can for you guys. My posting schedule still needs a little bit of work, but we're going to be grinding. If you're interested in all this gaming goodness, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton and it is entirely free and it'll bring you to my next video. With all that good stuff out of the way, let's get busy. So if you guys have watched my Outriders video, I'm pretty sure you know that I usually don't play much shooter games. But I really couldn't resist giving Doom a try because not only is the game dominating the first person shooter genre, but from what I've learned, it's actually the pioneer of all first-person shooters. So Doom is the brainchild of these fine gentlemen, and over the past 30 years has had a bunch of developers, ranging from Raven Software, Midway Gaming, and currently Bethesda. The game has had its own comics and even movies, so given all this greatness, I'm pretty sure you can see what piqued my interest. And truth be told, the game did not disappoint. So the game is a first-person sci-fi action shooter that also had a balanced amount of platforming and puzzle solving. And you play as the main protagonist, who is this absolute juggernaut, who is currently nameless but has been given the name Doomslayer over time. And God, this boy is an absolute unit. His entire purpose is to save humanity from apocalyptic demonic invasions. And my word, this fiend does it in style. So Doom Eternal is set in a very gory and rather demonic setting. Throughout the game, you move between what I can only assume is Hell, Earth, and these rather Olympus-themed places. So the game has a very linear progression, and moving through the different environments, say follow the pathway kind of thing, but with an addition of rather well-designed and interesting platforming. But regardless of its linear type progression, it's still very immersive, and personally I felt that it was all well set up. From demonic growth-infested lands to fire-engulfed plains and even rather beautiful lush landscapes, it was all put together rather well and paired with very responsive controls. It really did great in making me feel immersed in Doomslayer's journey. The game also offered great control settings, allowing you to fully customize your control binds to suit your controller playstyle. So I play Claw, and because of this I really appreciated having these control options. The graphics were really top tier as well. So I'm playing this on PS5 and the game offered you 3 different video settings, but I chose the balance between 60 FPS and good graphics, which was still really impressive, especially amidst combat. Now, the combat of this game was just truly something special, and was something that you just couldn't get enough of. Every turn you made, you were greeted by hordes of demons that you absolutely Hulk smashed your way through. And that's exactly what it felt like, because combat was absolutely fast-paced and gory and just scratched every element of gaming combat fun that your brain most of the time couldn't comprehend. It was so immersive that I would constantly find myself moving along with Doomslayer in reality. So apart from his double dash and jump and rather immaculate platforming abilities, Doomslayer came equipped with an arsenal of sci-fi looking weapons that all had additional secondary and tertiary fire types. Now these weapons you collected throughout the game as you progressed, each one being more exciting than the one you had before. And you actually used all of them in different combat encounters. You had a blood punch that you used to absolutely obliterate the guts of demons, a grenade launcher that you could switch between normal grenades and frost grenades, equally satisfying to use, might I add. And later on in the game you collected basically what was a one-shot blade, which sliced through any demon regardless of how boss-like they were. In addition to these gadgets and toys, Doomslayer also had his own personal chainsaw and flamethrower. And the reason why I say these two for last is because to me it was the most interesting pieces, given that it is very unique to Doom. So now that you're destruction on legs, you're constantly blasting your way through anything that moves and will run out of ammunition rather quickly, especially if you're trigger happy like me. So normally you could just loot ammo off the floor, but in Doom the chainsaw is an additional way to extract ammo from specific enemy types in a rather gory finisher, which always felt necessary even when it wasn't, and as you continually plowed through combat it became almost second nature, given that it was replenishable by collecting gas cans off the floor or by just waiting for it to recharge. and not to mention that it looked very cool. Alongside the chainsaw, the flamethrower was also a self-recharging ability, which allowed you to set any enemy type on fire, which rewarded you with shields that you were in constant need of. Because even though you were basically an army of one, the combat got very chaotic very quickly. Having a bunch of different enemy types rush you did often get very difficult to manage, and if it wasn't for the constant extra lives that you can find throughout the game, you would constantly find yourself doing the walk of shame back from the respawn areas. So in addition to the combat being excellent, you also had a bunch of different enemy types that only amped up the hype of battle, because every enemy had its own specific way that you could kill it using specific weapons and gadgets, especially with the bosses, which you had to kill using specific systems, by either waiting for a green flash from its eyes to indicate when you can attack, or having to shoot off armor pieces in order to weaken it before you could perform the finishing blow. It really added method to madness, by juggling pressure from smaller enemies and finishing off the boss, rather than just mindless slaughterfest. And the combat of this game was just this. Throughout the game it was all around balanced and fun, from shotgunning this guy to setting this guy on fire and performing a finisher on this guy, all while chucking grenades as you seamlessly swapped between weapons to avoid reload times in the heat of battle, as you platformed and glided throughout the air mid-shooting. This game truly mastered first-person shooting combat. All the combat tied in well with the game's upgrade system, which was rather simple but effective enough to change the tide of battle in your favor. You basically collected all these upgrades as you progressed through the game's missions. So with regards to missions, there wasn't much of a mission structure in the game. Rather, you progress through the main mission as it takes you from place to place to complete certain tasks. And the side missions came in form of you basically trying to complete certain challenges the game gave you for each mission. Now, there was some minor exploration, which was basically you just going about trying to find weapon upgrades and character upgrades, alongside some rather cool collectibles and in-game cosmetics that you could use to make Doom, his weapons, and the enemies look kinda snazzy. You could only get these certain cosmetics and collectibles by some rather interesting puzzle solving and platforming mid-game. So there's two things that I must touch on. If you've watched any of my past videos, you would know that I truly value NPCs in games, because to me they add a lot of depth to the game and show the developer's attention to minor detail. But that's my problem with this, that this game lacked NPCs. Being the only two characters that you spoke to were the AI that ran your ship and gave you mission briefing. Number two being that Doomslayer never spoke, which made it kind of difficult for me to see any type of character development from him, besides the fact that he was just built for war. On the plus side, the AI on the ship did issue some interesting dialogue from time to time, which did kind of give me a simple understanding of what the story of the game was, because as I said, this is my first Doom, so I'm not really sure what the entire story is here, but given that the game has been going on for about 30 years, I'm pretty sure it's kind of dense. So if you know the whole story, let me know about it in the comment section below. In addition to my dislikes is that the campaign literally took me less than 16 hours to complete. I was actually so disappointed that the game was so short, but I'm guessing that's why they try to compensate for that with the LTMs the game offered, such as Battle Mode 2.0, which was basically you and another person fighting out a mega boss, and Horde Rush, which was rather explanatory. Replayability of the game is rather high, given that Doom has infamously hard settings that you can try out, but as for me, I stuck to what is an equivalent of a normal mode, since I'm not a psycho. I did literally fully upgrade him and his gear in the first playthrough, so grinding is not really strong with this one. But I actually enjoyed this for a change, because as much as I do enjoy grinding, I really don't like having to complete a game multiple times in order to achieve the stats I want. Would I want to replay Doom? Definitely. The game stuck to what it was and didn't pretend to be something it wasn't. As I said earlier on, the game offered first-person shooting and it truly mastered it. Doom really made a massive impact on me with regards to first-person shooters, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the developers have lined up for the next edition. With all that being said, I'm going to give this one a solid 8 out of 10. Doom is definitely the best FPS I've played and definitely perfected the genre it's representing. But truthfully, that's all it was. Just an FPS. The game didn't have much depth to me, and it's truly just for people looking to experience a great sci-fi FPS. But I respect it for being the best at what it offered. And that, my friends, is going to bring us to the end of this video. I gave you a little bit of gameplay and my honest thoughts and opinions in the game, so that you can do the same in the comment section. If you've played Doom, go down to the comment section, tell me what your experience was about, what you enjoyed about the game, and what you're looking for in the game's next edition. If you like the content, do not forget to like the video and subscribe. I have a bunch of new videos coming up that I'm pretty sure you guys want to hear about. And with that being said, I'll see you there.